So what happens when you visit a place that has a lot of dead people in it? Literally 6 million of them. Let's find out. The Catacombs of Paris. One of the city's most visited attractions, this is the final resting place of 6 million dead French people. Except for him, of course, he's alive. But in theory, there's 6 million of them here. And it's a pain in the ass to get into. I'm here on a Sunday afternoon trying to get in, and the queues are absolutely massive. I actually waited in this thing for about 20 minutes and it didn't move a centimetre, so I decided to come back later on in the day to try and get in, when it's not so busy. So I'm back at 5 o'clock and the queues are still massive, and a security guard actually tells us to go away and come back in the morning because we won't actually get in at this point. So the only way to guarantee that you're going to enter the catacombs pretty early is to be the first one in the queue. Now, it's now 20 past 9 and it doesn't open for another 40 minutes. So, yeah, apparently they only let in 200 people. I don't know if you can see that over there. They have a counter of 0 out of 200. So, hopefully, I actually get to see this place. Third time's a charm, huh? Fat chance of that. It's Monday and it's completely shut. And nobody bothered telling us. Thanks a lot, French security guy. So it's the 4th time I've been here at the catacombs, and surely I've got to get in now. It's 9:15 and I have to wait 45 minutes before the doors actually open, and I spent another 20 minutes trying to get in. And the interior queue can be just as long, but to be honest, I'm actually glad I'm in the building. There's several different options of tickets. I decided to buy a standard ticket with an audio guide, and once you've purchased your ticket, you then have to walk down a very long spiral staircase, and it's really long. You get to see an exhibit as soon as you get to the bottom of the stairs, but to be honest, I didn't stick around enough to find out what that was about. It gets a little creepy when you start walking down through the trenches, especially if you're walking on your own. It can be quite scary and unpleasant, especially if you're claustrophobic, because it's not the biggest space that you can walk in. When you see the engravings on the stones, that's when it gets a little bit more real, and you actually come across an exhibit before you actually enter the catacombs themselves. But when you start entering the catacombs themselves, boy, you are in for a shock, because it just literally hits you in the face. These are actually real dead people, and I'm not kidding, really dead people, and the fact that there's 6 million of them down here is pretty hard to believe until you see it for yourself. Literally whole cemeteries dug up their dead and literally brought them all down here, and the sheer amount of death and bones that you can see, it's pretty staggering. I mean, it's seriously wall to wall full of bones and death. It's pretty hard to believe that they make displays out of these bones, that it's wall to wall decorated with bones and skulls and femurs. It's pretty hard to describe, but obviously as you can see from the videos here, that it is what it is. It's just literally wall to wall of human bones. Especially when you read the signs and realise where they all came from, it becomes significantly more real. This is a well. Surprise surprise, it's made out of bones, which is a little kinda creepy. And even the bits you can't go into, I've just put the camera above this pile of bones, and there's even more corridors of bones. Literally, this place is like a labyrinth of death. But seriously guys, take your time to explore every single corner of this place, because it's cool in a macabre kind of way. And even creepier still, there's bits where the ceiling leaks, and it gives off that weird drippy creepy sound that you hear in the horror movies. If for some reason you do get bored of looking at piles of bones, there's a lot more interesting things. but I highly recommend that you take your time anyway and explore what there is, because the sheer amount of effort that it takes to pile up bones like this and literally cover the walls with them is incredible. This is as close to a death as I've humanly been to. And the pièce de résistance, they've made a barrel full of bones, and this barrel, believe it or not, is structurally integral to the ceiling. Yes, this thing is actually holding up the ceiling above our heads. That's how creepy this place is. If you do look up, you can see how far below the surface of the ground you actually are. Once you've had enough, walk up the spiral staircase, and once again, it's a really long walk, and surprise surprise, it's a gift shop. Yes, it leads straight to the gift shop where you can buy skull related paraphernalia. And the exit to the catacombs is nowhere near the entrance. You're literally down a long street away from the entrance. So yeah, that took me by surprise. It literally is all the way back over there. Huh. But I highly recommend that you visit this place once in your life, even if this creeps you out, even if it's not your thing. It's good to see once in your life. Okay Nin, I'm sold. What do I need to do? Well, you need to come here to the Catacombs of Paris. It's located in the south part of the city, and the nearest metro stop is Denfert Rochereau, and as soon as you leave the metro stop, it is literally right outside in this beige building right here on the corner. You can tell where it is because there'll be a long line of people trying to get into it. And boy, I'm glad I'm not in that anymore. Speaking of which, the cost of the catacombs, well, it varies depending on the type of ticket you buy, and I highly recommend that you buy a ticket, an advance ticket, for the first showing of the morning. Get there half an hour early and be the first at the queue, and I guarantee that you won't have to wait in the pouring rain just like these guys. Just like I did. Is there anything else I need to know? Yes, if you don't buy a ticket in advance, you'll be waiting there an awfully long time. They only let 200 people in at the same time, so you might be waiting a while. As much as it's tempting to touch the bones, please don't touch the bones. And as much as it's tempting to take home a skull, please don't take home a skull. It is still a resting place of the dead, and you still have to be a little respectful about that. But overall guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and if you do like this sort of thing, please be sure to like, share and subscribe. Comment on the comment section below, and if I get enough suggestions for another bucket list ideas, feel free to tweet them at me of course, and if I get enough suggestions, I'll go ahead and do that. So guys, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. I actually get to see this place. Third time's a charm, huh?